kneel and be amazed at the touch of the black man. Ooh. I bring life.
Crockett. Vice, Miami.
Oh my gosh, it is so early in the morning for this kind of stuff, but we talked about it last night on 01, and now this morning, here we are. It just blows my mind, right, that there's people out there that want to just demonetize people they don't agree with, okay? Now, we've got plenty of people that we don't like. There's plenty of people that annoy the hoo-ha, the hickety-wick-sack out of us, whatever you want to call it. But to be completely honest with you, this is insane. Did you hear about this? So this is what they're doing now. We got Molly Damon. She's apparently the co-host to the Star Wars Explained show. Yeah, she's part of the Star Wars Explained crew over there. She's a Dark Rays Bay type, so you know they're right on in pronouns and bio. So you know you're dealing with someone with some real acumen here. And she says, I have spoken at length about this in the past, but the only way things get better is if Team YouTube does something to discourage this kind of content. Until then, it will only get worse. Now, you might be wondering, right? You might be wondering, well, what is it? Well, what is it? You know? And Scooby Doosh is here, and Scooby Doosh says, it's been insane. You're right. I've been blocked by many of them. Oh, there are many of them. Before we read that, let's jump over and see that. Let's just over and see that. Well, look at this. I'm just going to put it on scroll, and we can just sit here and just look at that. Move it a little faster, I guess. But there it is. They're all taking her image and tagging. There's Geeks Gamers, but they're all taking their image, her image that she posted there about the complaints, and they're tagging Team YouTube in, and they're just copy and pasting her complaints over and over again. Look at that. No, it's still going. It's going to go for a while, guys. This is what it is. Apparently some news report got involved, but whatever. And there we go. We got that. I think that was about Leslie Jones. But yeah, somebody, I don't know, somebody's blocked or something. There it is again. There it is again. There it is again. There it is again. Is this a targeted harassment campaign, maybe? Is this a targeted harassment campaign? Because golly, it sure feels like a targeted harassment campaign. Wouldn't you say? I mean, just on the surface here. Oh, there's a nice cell phone cover, the Beatles. Isn't that nice? And we're out of it. But that's oh, I'm sure there's more over here in the latest even. But oh, there's us. Hello. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if you're new here. Also, share it out so everybody else knows. I'm just beside myself on this one. You got people still sharing it over here. Amazing. But so what does it say exactly? Let's get into that. Let's get into what exactly this is all about. Now, what you can appreciate is like I doodled this X-Wing on a napkin and then I like scanned it into a computer and traced it into Illustrator so it looks hand-drawn, you know, rather than just, you know, not doing that. It feels to me like this is a letter you send home to children, right? To parents with their children, for their children to be like, we're watching Star Wars today. Here's a warning about what's in Star Wars, and the parental permission slip is on the back of this sheet. You know, it feels an awful lot like we'd like permission to go over this, but here we go. Dear Team YouTube, last week, actor Amandela Stanberg, they, very important, they, posted candid comments to Instagram about the rampage of bigotry and vitriol that she has received since leading the cast of The Acolyte, the latest addition to the Star Wars universe. Stenberg's experience is not new. In fact, this known tactic was initially provoked by former Breitbart news editor Milo Yiannopoulos, who aggressively targeted Ghostbusters actor. Oh no, not the Ghostbusters actor. Leslie Jones, under the guise of film criticism. Film criticism. No such thing exists. It's not real. After prolonged insults against her Ghostbusters character resulted in harassment against Jones on Twitter, Yiannopoulos claimed Jones was playing the victim. When she called for action against the harassment, the aggressive gaslighting of Jones experienced resulted in Yiannopoulos being banned from Twitter. That's right. Tossed out on his butt by old Twitter, right? Where, if you just replied to somebody too often, you got banned. 8 years later, Yiannopoulos' playbook against marginalized actors has burgeoned into a multi-million-dollar business on YouTube, which has been permitted to develop unchecked with the help of YouTube's partner program. This playbook's biggest target? Star Wars. Because, if you're going to go be a bigot and a racist and just hate on people, particularly sexist, you pick Star Wars, right? Star Wars is the thing you're just going to go file all that fictional hatred into, right? That makes perfect sense to me. As fans of the Star Wars franchise, we have tirelessly witnessed a handful of YouTube creators continuously drive prolonged insults and harassment campaigns against marginalized actors and members of our community. Enough is enough. The Star Wars fandom demands that YouTube enforce its community guidelines against prolonged insults and incitement of targeted harassment towards women of color by demonetizing YouTube channels Geeks Plus Gamers, Ryan Kinnell, RK Outpost, and Nerdrotic. No one else, though. Just those three. That's okay. No, don't worry about that guy. Ben, don't worry about that guy. Savvy, don't worry about her. Don't worry about Mike. Don't worry about Eric July. But that Geeks and Gamers, RK Outpost, and Nerdrotic, those are the three evils. But here are the facts. Here are the facts, okay? Brace yourself. The facts, okay? In 2018, Geeks and Gamers, 396,000 subscribers. I assume they're treating that like a pronoun. I guess that's what they're trying to do. Ooh, spooky! 396,000, spooky! Anyway, encouraged harassment against Vietnamese actor Kelly Marie Tran, leading up to Tran's departure from Instagram due to prolonged harassment. Geeks and Gamers published nearly 15 videos. 15! Oh my gosh. 15 videos, you guys. Can you believe it? That's one more than 14. Like, the legal limit to make fun of Vietnamese actresses is 14 videos, and they went 15. Why'd you do it, Jeremy? Why? Relevant to trans Star Wars episode The Last Jedi character, Rose Tico. The channel claimed that trans character is one of the most hideous characters of all time, the most unlikable character ever, and exists for forced diversity. Many of the comments found in Geeks and Gamers videos can be seen as hateful comments under trans now deleted Instagram posts. Yeah, so the same folks that are friends with Geeks and Gamers, they said awful, mean, terrible things to Kelly Marie Tran. Oh no. People being mean to you on the internet. How horrible. Thankfully, YouTube can fix this. Geeks and Gamers and RK Outpost, I got a little ahead of myself. Geeks and Gamers championed RK Outpost, 319,000 subscribers. Spooky, 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 spooky. A channel that frequently targets marginalized actors, including Moses Ingram, a Black American cast member in the TV series Kenobi. Today, days before Ingram called out racist backlash against her on Instagram, RK Outpost called Ingram a lunatic who can do nothing other than play victim. RK Outpost has recently, referred to Ingram's Kenobi character Reva, as dumb and word I can't say on YouTube. Geeks and Gamers and RK Outpost frequently co-host the live stream Friday Night Tights on Nerdrotic's channel, 1.1 million subscribers. Like, it's very spooky. Ooh, it's a million. Oh no, spooky. It's like they're counting numbers of soldiers, right? Like they're taking like the inventory of an enemy army, right? Is that what you're getting out of this? Like with all these numbers? Like, Mein Fiara, he has 1.1 million subscribers. What are we going to do? Amazing. Where the three channels have made a profitable business, reusing prolonged insults against marginalized actors featured in Star Wars, Captain Marvel, The Lord of the Rings of Power, to name a few. Oh no. Amandela is the current target of this YouTube-based operation. Together, Geeks and Gamers, RK Outpost, and Nerdrotic have led the charge against Amandela even before the release of The Acolyte. Can you believe that? People saying that the poo-poo is bad before they eat the poo-poo. Who on earth? You have to eat the poo-poo in order to know that the poo-poo is bad for you. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So we'll go on here and we'll see. Producing nearly 40 videos relevant to Amandela and the Acolyte since May. You can produce 40 videos, but not in like May to August, right? May to September, rather. You got to wait till December, all right? You get all your 40 videos out, but it's just too close. You know, it's that law with traffic. We do that rapid acceleration. The police are like, hey, you pulled out of there too quick. You didn't squeal your wheels or nothing, but man, nobody comes around that corner that quick, all right? You were rapid accelerating. You're rapidly accelerating it with your 40 videos in such a short amount of time here, okay? Got to spread that out to December, right? Don't all bloat it up with your Amandela up here in summertime. Nobody wants summertime bloat. I can't believe this. It's amazing. 40 videos. Oh, no! They wouldn't have survived the Brie Larson thing where people were making hundreds of videos about her a week. But, all right. Relevant to Amandela. These channels have asserted that Amandela is vapid and narcissistic. The adult pretender. Dumb. A half-black bitch. For defending herself against racism. You remember her defense? She was doing her for racists, you know? Anti-racist, you know? Anti-racism, right? That'll stop racism. Just do the anti-racism dance. That's what she was doing, the anti-racism dance. These channels have gaslit Amanda by claiming she's playing the victim card, with RK Outpost proclaiming, "You've never been oppressed in your life, you bitch." How horrible, right? To have someone on the internet just tell you you've never been oppressed. By the way, Amandela Stenberg, if you don't know, was Rue, rather. She didn't star in the movie. She was Rue in the movie Hunger Games. So even as a child, like 7 or 8 years old, she was making millions of dollars. I am awestruck by the amount of oppression that having millions of dollars paid to you before you could drive a car. I want some of that oppression. I don't know about you, right? Wouldn't that have been great to have, like, you know, $5-6 million just under your belt before you knew how to count to 11? Whatever. These YouTubers also used racist dog whistles, including angry black woman stereotypes. Rest assured, we don't use angry black woman stereotypes. Ooh, that's dangerous. What are you doing out there, guys? The hate campaign against Amandela has been so profitable that other major YouTubers have joined the attack on Amandela, including Star Wars Theory, 3.3 million subscribers. Spookier, oh no! So Star Wars Theory wasn't complaining about Star Wars until now? Like Amandela Stenberg was the one that was like, all right, that's enough. I hate Star Wars now. I'm pretty sure Theory was kind of critiquing this stuff before Amandela Stenberg was ever like even cast or like called up for this, before Leslie Headland was brought over even. How many more good faith content creators will turn to profitable hate campaigns if this behavior is permitted to continue with no repercussion? What are we going to do, guys? What are we going to do? No repercussions. Can you believe it? No repercussions. This is awful. This is awful. Got RJ McGrady here, and he says, this is a lot of butthurt written on copium, or its generic form, I'm playing the victim all the time. Yeah, I'm playing the victim all the time might be right for you. Please consult your psychiatrist, right? If you find that your victim boner lasts more than 6 hours. But we've also got Servius Vero here, Severus rather. Trainees are hados. Yeah, well, you know, there's a lot of science out there. There's a lot of science out there. We've also got Georgina Floyd, the best of us. Georgina Floyd, nice to see you, Georgina. Thanks for making it. Orange Hat's here. Good morning, Orange Hat. Good morning. Good morning. And we've got Shum. Good morning, Shum. Welcome aboard. Yeah, Rewriting Ripley. Yep, that's another one that's out there making the rounds. Everybody and their brother is on board with this cancellation of these guys. And I just have to wonder, why is it targeted at these three alone? What did, I don't know what you'd call them, like the rat pack of complaining about Star Wars, I guess, you know? What do you want to call them? The guys calling out the mess out there? The Star Wars Crusaders? I'm not sure, but why are these three the focus? Why are these three the focus of all of this? Like, you have Az on there. He's just as subscribed. You have Odin on there. You have Chrissy Mayer on there. And she's very colorful with how she describes the Acolyte and the characters within and what happened in the Acolyte. She's very colorful with how she does that. And that's just naming a few of the voices that get around in all of this. And that's not like, I'm sorry, I've lost his name. Starts with an M. Mahler. Sorry, I get him mixed up with Medicare, and that's not a flattering mix-up. So, Mahler, even, you know, like Mahler, again, not part of this. And he's said some pretty terse things about Disney Star Wars, I'll tell you what. You know, and then they're not mentioning any of the other channels that are down here like us, Bounding into Comics. We have a whole news website that's been detailing all of this. The news website goes after this. You've got other ones out there like That Park Place that do this stuff. You've got Bleeding Fool out there. Not Bleeding Cool, Bleeding Fool out there that does this as well. So why are these guys the central target is what I don't understand. And again, you have to go out and like take a look at this, right? Like we went over this just a little bit ago, but this is kind of nuts how many people are jumping into this. Check it out. And again, you know, you got Geeks and Gamers defending themselves here, explaining like, nah, man, we're just doing YouTube content. This is about Leslie Jones, but watch, here it comes. Just an endless tidal wave of this. Everybody who has an axe to grind with right-of-center content on YouTube of any form has decided to go after these three guys in particular. You'll note that they're not naming anybody else on this. They're not mentioning anybody else. There's no toxic gamers they want to talk about. There's no Sneeko mixed in here. There's nothing. There's nobody that they don't. Oh, we're already back in 2019. But that's what we're looking at here. You got a nice Beatles phone case. But that's what we're looking at is like everybody and their brother has jumped in to get in here. Big, small channel, big, small accounts. You got people that are just simply emoji accounts that are doing this. So what it's trying to show is like this massive, I guess, like a wave of people. There's a trans flag, so you know that one's sincere. But you've got all these massive mentions showing up for YouTube, and then they say, yes, we demonetize Geeks and Gamers, RK Outpost, and Nerdrotic. We should look into this. We should investigate what's going on with this. And I'm not down for that. I don't know about you. I don't think that it's wise to go around and start saying, this is what you can complain about, and this is what you can complain about for how long. I don't think that's wise. No one involved with the Geeks and Gamers crew, no one involved with Nerdrotic, and no one involved with RK Outpost, Ryan's channel, have done anything to encourage violence. They spoke out against people messaging these people. You'll hear all the time during the Geeks and Gamers Daily. You'll probably hear it a little later on here today. Sorry, I got to plug in my camera. You'll probably hear it later today. Don't contact these people. Don't DM them. Don't reach out, that kind of stuff. They say that all the time because they understand that, people have very intense emotions about this. They have intense reactions. This is nostalgia being dragged through the mud. And so they understand what's going on. They understand that when you speak critically of this stuff, it's important to separate the words from the person. My father told me when I was growing up, he said a very simple thing. He said, you can't hate a man, but you can hate everything that he does. And I think that's what Geeks and Gamers and RK Outpost and Nerdrotic stick to. They don't want you to go out and hate Amandela Stenberg. They want you to hate what she does because she's doing stupid things. She's doing things to deliberately destroy Star Wars and then dancing on the grave of what she's successfully destroyed. That's what they have a problem with. Not Amandela living, being, breathing, whatever, existing in whatever shape, melaninated or not, she comes in. And that's why it blows my mind about all this stuff, is like, why are those guys the central focus in all of this? There are so many other people out there that are wildly more intense with their criticisms. I don't know. We got one guy that threatened, there's a guy out there that threatened to kill some people over Star Wars. Remember that? That was a long time ago, but that happened. There's way more extreme ideas than being like, haha, you complain too much for being a Nepo baby. Haha, you complain too much for being a multimillionaire girl, multimillionaire young woman. She's 25. You complain too much. That's it. And they added sentence enhancers. You remember that from SpongeBob? They added sentence enhancers. It's great. It's great stuff. Biona Rad showing up. Welcome aboard. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what this is all about. It's bizarre to me to target those three alone when there are so many other, I don't know, I guess other personalities that would qualify in what we understand to be the facts of what they wanted to talk about. But they go on and they want to talk more about trying to get back to Molly's profile here. You have to excuse me. There's one-man operation in the mornings here. But Molly had some thoughts on what the action required would be, okay? So we're going to find out about what the brain trust over there at Star Wars Explained came up with how to deal with these reprobates. So here it is. The action required. Brace yourselves. Hold on to your butts. If you're at the edge of your seat, just scooch a little bit forward, all right? It's the very edge, the bleeding edge, the galaxy's edge of your seat. Here we go. Star Wars fandom refuses to watch another marginalized actor or fan be singled out by prolonged racist harassment from a handful of YouTubers. Just three. Not a handful, just three. Gary's not that fat. A handful of YouTubers as a result of YouTube's inaction, which has transformed hate into a lucrative career path. It is concerning to us that targeting marginalized actors on other social media platforms has historically resulted in platform bans, whereas the same behavior has made provocateurs millionaires on YouTube. This should be highly concerning to advertisers as well. We understand that YouTube has an important role to play in promoting free speech. However, content uploaded by Geeks and Gamers, RK Outpost, and Nerdrotic, nobody else, is not opinion or criticism. And they know this. They know. These people, Molly, she knows this. Star Wars Explained, they know this. See, I have a crystal ball. They have a crystal ball, and they go, ooh, and then all the racism shows up. It's just like that. It is prolonged, targeted harassment against women of color. No men of color. Women of color. We urge YouTube to enforce its community guidelines and demonetize these channels immediately and permanently. Thank you. May the force be with you. Yeah, that's the kind of psychopaths we're dealing with here. That's the action required. Obliterate these people we don't agree with. That's something that like what is it, Cobra Commander would say, M. Bison would say. That's supervillain talk. Needed to destroy my competitors. See, that's really the root of the problem, is that these three guys stomp all over Star Wars Explained's growth, you know? They have the opinion people want to hear on these topics, and Star Wars Explained has the corporate opinion. So they want the homegrown grassroots opinion burnt out, taken away, destroyed, so that their corporate endorsed opinion can grow. Isn't that nice? Isn't that wonderful? That's great things. Brave people, you see. Brave people. It's pretty great. It's pretty great to live in a time where people just attack you. But we got RJ McGrady here. He says, saying their Star Wars fandom is like saying Justin Trudeau is black, and that's true. That is highly true. Yeah. Especially Amandela Stenberg. I really appreciated that video where she was just on about how, like, Star Wars was everything all the time ever. And apparently it wasn't for her, but whatever. Who's the majority again? Well, clearly not us. We're an angry minority, DZ3 apparently, but we don't qualify for that kind of minority protection they're talking about because of this. Okay? Because of this. All right? You know, and God forbid UP standing up. God forbid UP standing up, because they really hate that. They really hate that. But yeah, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy to sit here and target these three guys and explain these are the only guys that have anything to do with hatred, harassment, or anything like that by our definition, when they're not. At worst, at the absolute worst, you're getting people using expletives to describe their opinions about a woman's actions, not her right to life, not her right to work, not her right to simply exist in any form that she takes. What they have a problem with and what they make jokes about and what they critique is her behavior towards fans, and also the insistence that this acolyte thing is the best thing to ever happen to the fandom because of her involvement. You have to understand the root cause of this stuff, and these people are ignoring it. And here you go. You got Biona Rad. He says, do you think Kathleen Kennedy is involved in any of this? Now, I don't think she's hands-on. Obviously, I don't think that they're like out here coordinating, I guess, with Star Wars Explained. Not Theory. Star Wars Explained. Whole different group. So I do believe that Kathleen Kennedy probably has expressed opinions to her underlings that have leaked down to Star Wars Explained, that something needs to be done about these three, okay? Because you got to remember, most Friday Night Tights bring in about 15 to 17,000 live viewers. And then so many more thousands afterwards when the show's over with when people are watching on the replay, okay? And from there, that's just one stream. That's not a video that gets 30,000 views. That's not a video that gets 30,000 views one day, and then another video gets 30,000 views again. So you understand how the numbers game works out in these corporate heads as they look at all of this critique and they go, oh no! You know, they see the scale of critique outweighing the scale of the weight of their creation. And that's what the problem is that that's probably what Kathleen Kennedy was talking about, and it just leaked down through her underlings. Because I can't imagine good old Kathy, you know, like, boop, 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 boop. Hey, Star Wars Explained, can you just, like, lead a targeted harassment campaign to obliterate specifically, and nobody else, Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, and RK Outpost, please? Could you just, thanks, babe, love ya, have you for lunch next week, bye, click. You know, and that's, do you really think that? I don't think that. I don't think that they did that. But I do believe that people keep talking, right? So there's a guy that is like Kathleen Kennedy's underling, right? You got that person, then you've got the person that is boyfriend or girlfriend of that person, could be another office worker, and they're discussing what's going on. Then it finds its way down to Kathy, from Kathy to Molly. That's where it goes, but not a direct line. Not a direct line. But again, that's why it's those three and nothing else. That's why it's not like a blanket of like anybody who critiques Amandela, anybody who says things like RK Outpost, like Nerdrotic, like Geeks and Gamers. They are completely and totally targeted right here on those three alone. No one else is the problem. And in fact, the only other channel they mention is Star Wars Theory because they fear that he's a good boy and he's going to get drug over there with those bad boys. I hate this. I hate it so much. Like, it's Star Wars. There's no reason to play this kind of politics with it. You don't need to demonetize people you don't like. Here's a neat thing that YouTube lets you do. You say, don't recommend channel. So those neat little 3 dots on the side, right? Those little 3 dots next to the title, and it says, don't show this channel to me. Don't show this content. Don't show this channel. You got 2 options. So if you want to keep getting Nerdrotic stuff, but you don't want to hear about Rings of Power, you could just say, don't show that to me, and you'll get other Nerdrotic recommendations. But if you don't want to see the channel at all, just hit that button, and you'll never see it again until you seek it out. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? It's almost like YouTube has built-in controls for this, that if you, as a responsible adult, decide that you don't want to be exposed to content that may or may not upset you, and either just unsettle you, make you uncomfortable, you could do that. Apparently that's disabled with Star Wars Explained, though. Yeah, it is. You're right, RJ McGrady. This is nutty ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend talk. It really is. This is the kind of stuff where if I can't have the attention that you're getting, I'm going to make sure that you can't have it either. Congratulations for making it to 1 million, Gary. We're going to burn it right out from under ya. That's their plan. That's their plan. They're going to destroy everything that Gary built because they can. They think they have an axe to grind because that attention they feel would be on them if Gary wasn't there, Jeremy wasn't there, Ryan wasn't there. That attention would be on them. And that's what they think. That's how they go about this. Are they going to cancel South Park? Probably not. That's not their focus. They don't think that that's hateful. They don't find that to be a prolonged string of criticism, targeted harassment. They don't think so. They don't think that. And it says, at this point, they are all harassing Team YouTube by adding them all the time, right? To be the social media manager on this today, oh man, that's got to suck. That has got to suck. They have some pretty strange things going on out there with this whole process because, like, I'm trying to find one of the good ones here where they, here we go. This is a good one. Hey, hashtag Team YouTube. That's going to get their attention. Not the hashtag. Good job, guy. SMLN. You're doing a good job, SMLN. He says, I find it deeply concerning that you've let harassment campaigns become profitable, and so should your advertisers. You should demonetize Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, and RK Outpost for spewing hate. Right? Right? That makes perfect sense. Not anybody else, just those 3. Certainly not certainly not Mahler, certainly not Ben, certainly not Odin, certainly not Comics. Oh no. Sorry. Comics. I'm sorry. Culture Casino. Comics, I love you. I just can't remember the second part of your name. I apologize. You got Culture Casino out there. These people that do regularly critique Amandela Stenberg's behavior and the behavior of the Acolytes cast, as well as the whole presentation of that show. You remember? There was a Wookiee that had a man bun. Remember that? The man bun Wookiee? We never got to see fight, and he got like a little scrapey scrape across his belly, and he was done. Meanwhile, we saw multiple Star Wars characters, Disney Star Wars characters, get like completely skewered by these lightsabers and make it. Yeah. The Wookiee got the worst of it, guys. The Wookiee got the worst of it. But that's what you're dealing with, is you're dealing with people who are like, I have no idea what this is, but somebody I care about and want the attention of is complaining about it, so I am going to complain about it too. And that's what you've got here. You've got all these people that are attaching themselves to this whole problem. We'll scroll down a little bit here and take a look again, Smln, and oh, here we go. From Biomacabre. Here we go. These channels have stoked the toxicity within their followers and repeatedly incited harassment and vitriol towards POC and marginalized actors. Please demonetize Geeks Gamers, Ryan Kinnell, RK Outpost, and Nerdrotic immediately and uphold your policies at Team YouTube. And they include the same picture from Star Wars Explained. You know, just in case YouTube just doesn't understand and they need to, this might be the one tweet that they see, right? Out of all of these, this might be the one tweet. So we got to make sure all the information is there on these three guys alone. Do you find this creepy? I think it's creepy. I feel like there's a Discord somewhere that I'm not in where all of this is getting coordinated, right? Doesn't that feel like you? Like there's a Star Wars Explained shadow Discord somewhere that's private access and just a bunch of ringleaders get brought in there and then they go back to their Twitter DM group chats with all their girlfriends and they go, oh my God, we gotta cancel these guys. Make sure to copy and paste everything here. Let's go, girls. You think it's like that? You know? You think they've got like Charles, what was that guy? High Sisters. What was that guy? I forget his name. If you know the name, let me know in the chat. I forget his name. Disney, your tears are delicious. Yeah, well, these are Disney Shills, so it's like extra sweet. You know, it's like that sugar water, right? You remember the sugar water you'd get at the convenience store that was just cool, like watered down Kool-Aid? You know, it wasn't Kool-Aid. It was like watered down Kool-Aid. Maybe they poured lemonade in it at the same time. Remember that? That's what that is. That's what that tastes like. Sweetened for your pleasure. Yeah, and so we've got Panzer Dan 412 here, and he says KK is stupid enough to directly email them. Well, we'll likely know. Know with yeah, right, during the discovery from the Gina case. You got it. Yeah, yeah. And again, this might be after that too, so we might not get those. But I don't know. It seems like it would be a bit strange to just like, all right, here's the hit. How much do you want to carry it out? How much money do you want to carry it out? How much Star Wars merch and park access tickets do you want to carry out this hit? That's amazing. DZ3 says, oh yeah, it's definitely coordinated. I mean, Amandela's failed video, then this nonsense. Yeah, multiple failed videos. Like, why do you have to explain it? Just come out and if anybody's harassing you to the point where you feel like you have to make a statement, just come out and say the check cleared and then walk away from the camera and the video, you know, like a mic drop. Check cleared, mic drop. That's it. That's all you got to do. What are they going to do? This would be like, I'm ungrateful. And that's it. That's over with. But no, she had to sit there and make an 8-minute video that said absolutely nothing, but only focused on using those lovely buzzwords to paint anybody who disagreed with her as a bigot, a racist, a homophobe, and a transphobe, right? Because she's non-binary. So yeah, it's pretty annoying, to be honest. Biona Rad says, it seems like all these people could be in a group of Discords or to set up to attack 3 YouTubers. Yeah, and again, that doesn't seem out of the question. We know that Nick Fuentes had a Catboy Discord and all these other ones where they're communicating with people, sometimes underage, you know what I mean? We had this Mr. Beast situation where he had Discord contact with minors, and his buddy there that went transo decided to behave the way that he did with children, and that was in a Discord. So it's not like good and wonderful things only happen on Discord. We know very well that this is not the case, so who knows? It could be very well a coordinated harassment campaign against these 3. And that's why I wanted to just open this up this morning, because last night when we talked about it on 01, it wasn't like fully baked up yet. It just kind of sort of landed and a little bit of conversation was going on about it. But through the night, more information was sort of sussed out about the situation, where all this got started, which again was Star Wars Explained doing this. And that just tells me what it's all about. It's because they're not popular. They're not the in crowd. They're not the cool kids, if you will, in this scenario. And that's why they have to take out Gary and they have to take out Jeremy and they have to take out Ryan, is because they want that space. They think that the audience that occupies that space will just jump over to Star Wars Explained and give them all of that fame, fortune, and fun. And that's not how it works. Like, take Eric July, for instance, right? Let's just take Eric July, for instance. Eric spent 17 years building up to launching the Rippaverse. And he did. He had his music, he had his merch stores that he was selling like hats, and he was selling merchandise from his YouTube channel and his band through. He was working for the Blaze. He was getting himself out there, establishing himself as a media personality, building up his channel, the platform to where he could market from it. All along, letting people know you could buy from him. So when he launched his comic book, there was an audience there to receive it. An audience that enjoyed his content to begin with and thus trusted what he created. The same thing happened with Gary. Gary showed up one day and just started making videos. There's a ye olde video of Mr. Beast reviewing some gamer channels that now he's bigger than, right? Well, Gary was down on Mr. Beast's level a long time ago. Where you're just out there talking about what's going on YouTube, talking about what's going on in the fandom, what's going on in the comment section. And Gary built up a fandom that wasn't just like, I like Gary. Gary built up a group of internet friends. It's really a good way to put it, is that you don't just watch Gary's content. He treats you like you're his friend, and you just showed up at his house, and he wants to talk to you about Star Wars. He wants to talk to you about Lord of the Rings or Doctor Who. And you have a conversation with him through the video somehow. It's pretty well done. And that's what Gary built his audience around, was, we're all friends here. Come let me know what you think. I'll let you and I know what I think. Same thing with Jeremy. Jeremy showed up and he said, I've got a bunch of opinions about this stuff and I love America, so let's go. And he decided he was going to burn as bright as the sun about it. He was going to be as passionate and just in your face about how much he felt about this stuff. And that's what attracted people to him, is because people like that in, a person that shares their ideas. They like having someone who burns brightly for Star Wars. They like someone who burns brightly for gaming. They like somebody who burns brightly for America. And that's who Jeremy is. He doesn't turn it off. You've seen him in his car. You've seen him just walking around at cons. You've seen him at the Republican National Convention when he didn't bring his proper shoes. He's always on. He's always burning brightly for the things that he loves. And the same, now Ryan comes through with a slightly different approach. Ryan knows the information inside out, upside down, and backwards. This guy is probably more reliable at this point than Wikipedia when it comes to Star Wars lore. And so his personal issue with Star Wars is that it's all there. You can hear Ryan talk about this. And so his fandom is built around people that agree with him that this whole thing was a mess, and this is where this actually fit, and this character belongs over here, and this was a part of a story over here that they completely ruined and just strapped names and events to. And Ryan's audience is attracted to that because they themselves understand the medium that deeply or want to. And Ryan either guides them or confirms with them that, oh yeah, that's right, that's where that came from. That stupid helmet was made by that lightsaber on-off metal. And that's what brought these guys through. They didn't just show up and be like, screw that person because of their melanin level, and then 1 million subscribers showed up. It's not how it worked. It's not how any of it. It's not how any of this even works to begin with. No one builds a platform around hate. That's not how it works. Hate's not fun. Hate's how people get hurt. What people build a platform around is a shared identity, a shared opinion, a shared belief, or a shared time in history. And that's where most of the I would guess, the live viewers for Friday Night Tights come from, is that these people are in the moment of history. So they're paying attention. They're united together because all at once, Doctor Who, Star Wars, Transformers, Lord of the Rings, and now Japanese media are all under attack simultaneously with the same mission, the same message of squeezing out individuality and squeezing out any semblance of, honestly, what is a human today, turning us into pod-dwelling, bug-eating, owning nothing and being happy about it, And that's what unites people around the live stuff and the moment. That's why Alex Jones comes on the show and brings on all this different stuff, brings on all these different audience members that then stay behind because they're like, oh, wow, these people get it. They understand the danger that we're facing. They understand the trouble that we're all up against, not in media, but in the world at large. And so that's what these fandoms are. That's why they're passionate. That's why they show up the Geeks and Gamers Daily. That's why they show up the Nerdrotic Nooner. That's why they show up to Friday Night Tights. It's because they have their passion, their questions, their beliefs about the world have been rewarded and confirmed and said, hey, I believe the same things you believe. Let's get together and talk about them. And that's all it is. Star Wars Explained can't wrap their heads around that. They can't figure out how that works. I guess it's in authenticity, one might say, in authenticity. I'm not sure. But we've got Sports Fisher here, and he says, Musk should censor all of these left-wing bigots on X, especially Mark Cuban, Sithy Mark Hamill. Yeah, well, I don't know. It's okay to, my opinion, it is good to have assholes speaking freely. They should not have their speech at all hampered, because you know exactly why you don't want to hang out with them, exactly why you don't want to buy anything from them or spend any time with them, right? If they can't speak their mind and you only see the best of them because what their real intention and true feelings are is now either banned or hidden, well, they tend to prosper and do well. I mean, look at Hollywood. For the longest time, people didn't know what was going on there. Like the masses at large didn't know what was going on there. And we all thought they were wonderful people, the best of us, if you will. And then over the years, these various drug scandals and finally the Epstein stuff, and then all these different stories we find out about the child actresses and actors being abused by the different staff members of the studios, like Dan Schneider there for Nickelodeon, this stuff starts to leak out. And that's because these guys weren't allowed to go out. I mean, Dan Schneider tried to tell the world he's a freak, but he wasn't allowed to just come out and say, I'm a freak. And that's the problem. If you start banning them, then they'll get together and they'll make people like them by being able to hide from their true opinions. But, I get tired of it too. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to keep swimming in this pool. Believe me. I don't want to keep swimming in the pool. It's disgusting in here. Somebody peed. But Biona Rad says, it seems like all these people could be in a group of Discord set up to, oh yeah, yep, attack these. You're right, exactly. I read that. DZ3 says, if they want the space, be truthful. The fact they are not truthful, but have access to Disney and praise an ass show, with that, it is okay to like ass shows, but be truthful. And that's true, I like Power Rangers, or I did. It's canceled now. I like Power Rangers. It's awful. It's god-awful. I won't deny it at all, but I get hype. Rainbow spandex, giant robots, guitar themes. I'm down for it. Super Sentai is my jam. I love that stuff. Most people would find it pretty boring and probably pretty cringy, but I love it, and I'm honest about that. I don't hide from the fact that other people will definitely not find the magic that I find in tokusatsu, And we've got Service Vero here. He says, Alex Jones is the man. Okay. I don't hate him, but the guy's pretty out there. I don't hate him, but he's hanging on. He's hanging on, that's for sure. He's hanging on. Scooby Doo says they are deaf in with each other in a Discord group, and most of these people are very low subscriber channels. They are envious. Yeah, that's true. That's what it is. They want a piece of that pie. Kirby says Japanese just need to stop hiring Western anything. Yeah, well, they took over the video game market way back when in the 90s, the late 80s and 90s for a reason. They were the central providers of all of these things for a reason, right? It took until the late 90s, early 2000s, right? That's when the Xbox showed up. It took until then for a true blue competitor to them, being the Xbox, finally showed up. And that wasn't because they were hiring DEI and making sure that human resources was well supplied. Now, was it? No. There's a bunch of guys that were up all night drinking sake and energy drinks trying to get this stuff done on a deadline so that Papa Nintendo didn't take their heads off. But Scooby Doo's is here, and they say they're turning the frogs gay. That's not only the frogs, that's for sure. Unless you're talking about the French, then, halfway there. Yeah, no censoring. That's just it. That's why Elon's platform is growing and becoming a #1 news source steadily, is because you can get what you want here. The internet is a misery machine. I remind people of that all the time. If you want to be sad, the internet has an endless supply of sad for you. You want to be happy, there's a ton of cat pictures. A ton of funny videos, a ton of laughing baby videos, all sorts of that stuff. And that's what Elon's X is home to. It's home to horrible news about people being blown apart on battlefields far away, and also news to birth announcements. And ta-da, we're getting married, you know, those sorts of announcements. That's there too. Fan art's on there, commission art. It's really the town square that Jack intended it to be. Finally. We have Sakura Mita here. I remember Mark asked for hundreds of dollars for an effing autograph. That's true. That's true. You have to excuse me here. I have a little bit of a dry throat, so I will just play you a quick little video here while I get a
And kneel and be amazed at the touch of the black man. I bring life.
That's better. I feel refreshed. How about you? But here we go. Yeah, Mark did ask a lot of money for autographs. Don't get me wrong on that one. Mark definitely did that. And again, you're like, oh, I'm Star Wars. Ooh, I'm Star Wars. But why are these people still on X? Thought they hate Elon Musk and were going to leave X. Well, they did. They went over to Blue Sky, but it was really boring because everybody on Blue Sky was just saying about how much better Blue Sky is because there's no right-wingers, right? And that gets boring for these people who just seek out conflict. Because if you don't know, being a leftoid, you have to have a constant supply of mental conflict, real or otherwise, or else you shrivel away like the Wicked Witch of the West into a puddle of steaming hat. You know, like a witch's hat. We got Glurp with a series of zeros there that I'm not going to read out loud. Nice try. But I wonder what they make of Jay Longbone playing Dustborn on stream and choosing to play Batman instead. You know, Dustborn is a bully simulator, right? It's like, you know, Flight Simulator teaches a pilot how to fly. Dustborn is a how to bully. It's how to bully, how to be a sociopath simulator. And that's really what's most striking about it to me is that it quite literally trains you on how to employ SJW political strategy into the world around you and how to force your friends into behaviors they otherwise would not condone or be a part of. Yeah. And I haven't even played it, okay? That's just what I've seen Savvy survive through, okay? She's really going through the ringer on that one. I gotta give her praise there. Give her some praise, rather. It's crazy. Praise. Praise is the word. So, Peret's here. Peret says, late to the stream, the fandom menace got me demonetized. No, there's actually a tidal wave of weirdos that are trying to make that happen, in fact. That's the bizarre thing about all this. Check it out. We'll go back to the top of the mighty list of cancel Geeks and Gamers and Jeremy here on here. And here we go. As you can see, turn the scroll on. And there it is. You got Geeks and Gamers defending themselves, Leslie Jones story, but here it is. Look at them all. Look at it. Look at that. That's just in the past 22 hours. You know, I'm sure there's more flooding through that just hasn't been, you know, acquitted in here. Let's go over to the latest and see. Oh, there's us. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, share it out there so people know. Yeah, there's another one. And they are, they're just at it. They're just out here trying to get some. And it's all the same thing. It's all the same three. It's Nerdrotic, it's RK Outpost, and it's Geeks and Gamers. It's nobody else. Nobody else traffics in the kind of abuse, the kind of abuse that these people are complaining about, right? It's just these three channels. That's it. No one else. Nobody ever does anything. Sneeko doesn't do anything like this. Not at all. There's nobody out there like I Show Speed doing stuff like this. And Kai Cenat isn't out there trying to, you know, make it clear he wants nothing to do with Kamala Harris and that kind of stuff. That's got nothing to do with it. But this, we got, look at this. This is still going. It's going to run out in a minute here, maybe. But there it is. This is a tidal wave of YouTube mentions now that they're going to have to take notice of because their boss is going to be like, whoa, what do you mean more than 200 people, 300 people tagged us to let us know about these channels? So, of course, they're going to have to investigate now. And, of course, they're going to find one video here or there that maybe said something that they can twist into a violation. Now you have to remember, once you get 100,000 subscribers, there we go, we ran out. Finally, we ran out. But Star Wars James, thank you. Thanks, James. Hate should not be monetized. Thanks, James. Big help, James. But it's only these three that they're targeting. So YouTube will go after these three in particular, and they will find something. But at 100,000 subscribers, you end up with a YouTube handler. And what this is this is a person that is with YouTube that will tell you if your video is in compliance with what is going on. So like if you lose monetization on your video, because YouTube changes its rules a lot. Sometimes it's not real quick with letting us know that it's changed those rules. So your video will get demonetized and it won't immediately tell you why. It's just like, this is not available for monetization. You can't do anything about it. So for 100,000 subscriber plus channels, you have a handler that you then reach out to via email, and they write back, oh, hey, that was a mistake. It turns out this word right here just got read wrong by the AI analyzer, the algorithm, if you will. And we're just going to go ahead and boop, that's back to monetization status. Have a good day. Or they'll reply with, hey, man, can you just cut out that 10-second spot and the video will go back to being monetized when you re-upload it. Okay? So it's not like these guys are just out here freewheeling and made it to 1.1 million subscribers without YouTube noticing. They send them plaques, okay? Quite clearly, they're aware of these people, but Star Wars Explained and these goofballs here that we're seeing on screen will have you believe otherwise. They'll have you believe otherwise, that YouTube's just like, la, 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 I don't know what's going on, guys. Keep sending those super chats. La, 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 la. If you're a YouTuber, you know that is not the case. Before Susan left, you had Mama Susan just breathing down your neck about everything. Look at Gundam. Look at what happened to It's a Gundam over there. That guy was on-off demonetized all the time. Susan was there with the switch, like the Nosferatu meme, like click, clack, click, 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 on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, just screwing with the guy. And he's not even on here, right? And he runs all the drag queen stuff to compare these women. The drag queen's making fun of him. And guess what? None of that. He talks about Pokimane. He talks about Pokimane all the time. He has a thing with Pokimane not liking him, and so he makes jokes about her all the time. Guess what? He's not on this list. He's not on this list of evildoers spreading and monetizing hate. You know? It's crazy how they just isolated these three. It really is. So we've got Guy Gadboy is here. I think I said that right. Guy Gaboy? Let me know. Anyway, Guy says, has anyone pointed out to YouTube the Shills produce hundreds of hours of free advertising for Disney and instead of Disney paying YouTube directly? Yeah, well, again, this is the age of ad blockers, all right? So YouTube will allow you to purchase a special type of YouTube called YouTube Premium where you don't have to see any ads. Now, a lot of people can't afford that, so they run an ad blocker. Now, YouTube's trying to kill the ad blockers, but we've found ways around that too. And similarly, when you go out into the world, right? When you go out into the world, you have your ad blocker on your browser. So your browser will eliminate ads on your web pages that you go and visit. So how are they supposed to advertise this stuff? For the first time, I would say, just the first time ever, really, advertisers, huge corporations, gigantic corporations, are on the same advertising reach level as me, little old indie guy. Put out one book, little old indie guy. That's it, right? I'm on the same advertising capacity level as Disney, as NASCAR, as Marlboro, as Chevrolet. They can't reach you any better than I can. And so really, Disney relies on Nerdrotic, RK Outpost, and Geeks and Gamers to come through and say, this is happening. Because otherwise, you get a Concord effect, where in one post, you'll find out there was a game called Concord, it didn't do very well, and it's canceled. Just in one post, you find all that out. Can you believe that? And that's what they want. That's the thing, is that these guys want the place of Nerdrotic and RK Outpost and Geeks and Gamers. They're not interested in what the content these guys actually put out. They see the numbers, they see the super chats, and they're like, if I just eliminated them, I would take that spot. That audience would just fall to me because there'd be nowhere else to go. You know, and that's what they want. They want to break the audience and try to scoop them out and try to reclaim all that fame back into themselves, who are then shills and thus more valuable shills to Disney. You gotta understand, this still doesn't have anything to do with these guys, these actual guys behind the channel being anything. It's the channels and what they represent. It's the power of those channels that they represent, okay? So imagine being a shill that has Gary's pull. You are now indispensable to Disney, who lacks the ability to directly advertise to customers. Now, do you see what Star Wars Explained is trying to do? Do you get it now? If you break up Gary's 1.1 million and starve him out of Star Wars content, guess what? They'll eventually fall in there, right? That's what Star Wars Explained's theory is. It's wrong, because you just go to Rumble, you just go to Kick. If all else fails, we'll just go down to Skinwalker Ranch and start doing smoke signals. Somebody will eventually laugh at the jokes, you know? And that's how it'll go. You can't keep these guys down. They are passionate about what they believe in, and they're going to let the world know about it. Because people want that feeling of knowing that they're not alone in their opinion on this. That they don't want to be out there being like, yeah, Amandela Sember, you're right, I'm a bigot. I don't have anybody else agreeing with me. Instead, Gary has an audience of 1.1 million people that are all like, yeah, we're kind of not down with the woke-ish direction of media. It's bizarre. It really is. It's bizarre. It's a strange world to live in. It's a really strange world to live in. Good morning, Leslie. Welcome aboard. I know this is a little early and out of sync, but I just thought about this overnight, and there wasn't a lot of details in the moment, and it just blows my mind that they're targeting these three guys alone. And as I just explained, it's got nothing to do with them behind it. I don't know about China bots. That's the thing. I don't know about China bots. If they're not copy paste, they are copy pasting Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, RK Outpost, at Team YouTube, Demonetized. They're copy pasting that sort of, and that's why I think it's a Discord. I think it's somebody that's been they've been handed what to say, and then they add their own spin on it because they're them. Otherwise, if it had been bots, it would have been Molly's original message just copy and pasted across all those different messages. So I do think that, look, think about this. Gary has 1.1 million subscribers, according to these people. Is it too much to ask that maybe 50,000 people hate Gary's guts out there in the world? I don't think so. I think that's entirely possible, that you can rise to such a height that you can accumulate such an army of people that hate your guts. Just because you're there. I have a rule. If 4 people show up in your chat, 3 of them want to hear what you have to say, and the 4th guy wants to kill you. It's just how it goes. That's just, if you obey that ratio and understand, right, that not everybody's your friend on the internet, but that's where these people come from, is that Gary's large audience ends up, what was that stupid line from The Last Jedi? Ryan was so smart with it, so clever. What was that line? It's like the darkness rises to meet the light. Right? Isn't that what it is? The light rises to meet the darkness. Snoke said it before they bisected him. Not bisexualed him, bisected, cut in half. I want to say that was the quote, and that's what it is, in their mind, I guess. So we have Sakura Mita says, out of topic, do you think Hasbro get to sue by Toei? Will Hasbro get sued by Toei via not letting Shout Factory release more Super Sentai DVDs? The recent one is Deca Ranger. So what the problem is that right now in the USA, there is the laws of brand confusion. And because Deca Ranger and Power Rangers SPD are not owned by the same company, you have I would guess an issue in the courts from that point on with brand confusion. And so for Hasbro, they're not releasing the Super Sentai products, and so they're not planning to. And so they will pursue legal action to keep the Sentai products away from their branded Sentai. So unfortunately, that means there's going to be a huge gap in what Shout Factory can put out, and then all of a sudden it'll pick up with the one that looked like Minecraft, the Super Sentai that looked like Minecraft. I think that was. Oh no, it would be Tokyuger, the one with the train. With the train, that'll be the first one that they skipped. right? Yeah, I want to say that was the first one that they skipped because they can't use Gokaiger. They can't bring Gokaiger through because that was Super Mega Force. So you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Leslie Tarkin says these people are either bots, Disney, Lucasfilm employees, or shills. And then you have, I think they're mad Susan isn't taking their calls. Yeah, I know. I know that's the joke. But she's a ghost haunting. It's a Gundam. Yo, make that into a meme, dude. Ghost. I know. I think she proved she deserves no respect. Yeah, it's true. Gundam fell off. Wasn't on the hate list. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. He didn't make it. He didn't make it. He's almost 1 million subscribers by himself. But apparently he's not the kind of hater that they want to target, right? And you'll notice something about Nerdrotic, Jeremy, and Ryan, right? They're all white. And Gundam, not so white. Who knows? Biona Rad says, how come they don't put It's a Gundam and Kyle on there? I think it's how you spell it. It's Kyle? Kyle, right? Like Kyle? Kyle? Anyway, why don't they put that in the list? Because, again, they're not white. That's why. And as you know, racism only exists with white people. Doesn't matter what Hispanics have to say about Black Americans. It doesn't matter what Asians have to say about Black Americans. Black Americans have to say about Asians. Black Americans have to say about Hispanics, Indians, whoever you'd like. It's only whitey that does the bad. Scooby Doo says, I caught Kyle Katarn grifting. He literally said he's getting paid for doing this with all the comments people are sending. Oh! So that's what this is. They get to monetize their Twitter status off of all of this interaction. Well, isn't that nice? I see. So that's the trade-off. You help us, you'll get lots of views on your tweets, and you'll get paid by Elon. I see. That's the scheme. Yeah, Disney being thrifty. Good for them. Being thrifty. You'd have to check with the master of TDS if bots are involved. Yeah, that's true. But again, like I said, it would be Molly's initial post, just copy and paste it over and over again. The bots don't deviate. So it would just be, I've spoken at length about this in the past, and it only gets better. Things only get better is if Team YouTube does something to discourage this kind of content. And it would just be that copy and paste it over and over and over again. But instead, it goes on to reference, oh, well, looky here. The devil themselves. YouTube at Team YouTube with the golden checkmark. They say, we really appreciate you bringing this to our attention. Mind reporting the channel in the official reporting tool if you haven't yet. This page has more info on how you can do that. So there you go. YouTube's on the case now. They're going to find something. You know them. I hope you get used to being on Rumble, I guess, man, because they're going to try and run this into the ground for sure. This won't be the first time, and it won't be the last time that they do this. That's the other thing. This won't be the first time, it won't be the last time. Because if they get this to work once, they'll go after PewDiePie next. They'll go after anybody else that's outside of the approved corporate narrative that's existing on this platform. If they can get Gary, if they can get Ryan, if they can get Jeremy, nobody's safe. Also, Nerdrotic, Jeremy, and Ryan like Trump. Yep, those are also things that are synonymous with being white, apparently. You didn't know. And there's a photo of Kyle Katarn, Star Wars Explained, and a few others with Leslie Henlon and Dave Filoni from a trip that Disney paid for. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah, and of course they're unbiased people and would not at all be acting in a way to protect their friends. The good friend, Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni, good friends with everybody. Him and his gay hat. Dave Filoni. But there you go. There's YouTube right there saying it's going to take a looky-loo. Molly's very happy to hear this. Yep. Here's CM Chunk right here saying this is harassment. You're damn right. Yeah, this is harassment. You're damn right, Chunk. This is harassment. But, and she locked her replies. Oh, what a brave little toaster. Look at that. She locked her replies. Darn. So let's see what our good friends in the quote tweets have to say. Oh, there's 1,000 retweets of this. Let's see how many are quote. Here we go. Beaten in the fair open market, beaten in fair discussion. Now you seek to use the far larger Dark Force, a cudgel to win the fight you couldn't. Asserting the fabrication of a bitter actress as if it were fact. What sorry little crybabies you are. Yep, that's pretty true, Mr. Alex. That's true, Mr. We've got Hunt Dvorak here. And he says, just leaving this here for you. Remember when you cheered for Gina Carano's cancellation? It's all about the rules for me and not for the dicked up shills. You dare voice a critical opinion of their products, get called out the ists and the phobes, and get reported. Yep, and then there's... Is that Kyle Katarn? I don't want to open that up in case YouTube's mad, but... Oh, I did open it up. Okay, that's a whole thumbnail. I thought that was 2 pictures. My bad. Okay. You guys, yeah, is that Kyle Katarn? Was that the photo? Was that the picture? Was that the picture? Was that the picture? If they get Nerdrotic Jeremy and Ryan's channel, then YouTube is going to be a dead site. They're not that big. They're not that big. But the audience that enjoys their content will probably move to Rumble. You're right. By and large, most of their audience will move to Rumble because the betrayal will be, you can't ignore it. Any channel you like on YouTube is then able to be completely obliterated because other people have decided to gang up on it. You know? Scooby Doo says, when I see locked replies, I just quote tweet. Well, we'll get back to those because we've got the master of TDS here, and he has stunning and brave of you to lock the replies and call out people for having different opinions. Are you condoning those who wish death on others over the cancellation of the Acolyte, or the ones who wanted to behead at real Star Wars theory just for having an opinion on it? We'll go on. He writes more here, and he says, you'll never mention those things because in the end, people like you are exactly what's wrong with the fandom. Cowards who can't handle differing opinions, so they cry ist and phobe. Criticism isn't harassment, and the harassment you're looking for is either manufactured or coming from inside the building. And yes, I caught one of your fellow Disney Star Wars fans manufacturing fake death threats too. Proof of my claims is in the comments. So there's her fact sheet, and somebody has blocked me. Well, that's nice. And so here we go. I'm sick of Star Wars fans. You all will die and go to hell. The Acolyte canceled because of racist effing misogynistic jerks. I'm gonna ill all the men on this effing planet. Wow, so even if you were a guy and you had the poor taste of liking the Acolyte, you're still gonna get off. Sorry, bro, I didn't realize you guys were gonna get it too. Oh well, you don't want to hang out with these people either. You don't want to be left with them. Racist Star Wars fans all got a DEI, man. DIE, man. Like no other way around it. F you, Disney Plus, for canceling the Acolyte. You let the racist, sexist dude bros win. Let a beautiful, inclusive show die. F you all for real. Fun fact, I'll ill all of you if you don't retract the news about the Acolyte. You gave it 1 effing month. Yeah. But geeks and gamers, they're the problem. Right, guys? RK Outpost. He's the problem. Right, Ryan? He's the problem. Gary, Nerdrotic. He's the problem. Not these people that are saying they're going to go into Disney and do harm to people. No, not those people. But wait, there's more. I don't know about that. Sorry. I like Star Wars theory, but there's a lot of brain damage in those things. We'll go back to the quote tweets here. We'll see it now. This is Molly that locked her post, by the way. If you're just tuning in, this is Molly from Star Wars Explained who has locked her reply. And so we're going through the quote tweets who are speaking some truth here. Speaking some truth. TLDR, I want YouTube to shut down everyone who disagrees with me because reasons. Nailed it, Astro Nerd Boy. You nailed it. Time Fire, excellent name, by the way. If you're a Super Sentai fan, you know where that comes from. Time Fire. Oh, there's that special. Whoa, there's that special word again. The magic word, you know. You said the word of the day. You're gonna get that for Pee-wee there. I'll have to AI myself as Pee-wee and do the word of the day whenever we have that word show up. I could comment, but this meme sums it up perfectly. They forget this isn't 2016 Twitter. Yeah, right. It's just because somebody doesn't like you doesn't mean that you get your Twitter destroyed, you know? Doesn't this violate YouTube TOS? Yeah. Ganging up on people, trying to cancel them. And I believe, too, that they take action on people that are even off-platforming, trying to deplatform people on YouTube, like this right here, trying to lead a campaign on a separate platform to wreak havoc on YouTube. I think they take action over that, too. But we don't know because Team YouTube replied and said, hey, we probably need to know about this. Your hate campaign was successful. So we've got old school 0001, and it says, they say, this is targeted harassment and it will be reported. This includes any form of coordinated attacks or campaigns meant to harass or degrade others. Well, how about that? Isn't that nice? As the mower goes by. Isn't that nice? But that's an X. That's on X, by the way. So I don't know. Obviously, it hasn't been a problem because Elon's team hasn't taken it down. We'll wait and find out. It's only been a little while. And then there's Trump. Trump means Simpsons. Trump means pathetic. Tremendously pathetic. Very small. Not big. But today's PSA, if someone posts content you don't like and or don't agree with, there's a nifty button on all platforms. It looks like this. So you can block this person. Isn't that neat? You can block this person. Isn't that neat? There's a ton of functions to make sure that you don't see the content you don't like. So here we go. Somebody hooked her up with the Dustborn thing. So here's Molly telling us, we've learned to bully people. Bully gives the power to force people to do something they may not want to do. And there's Molly over here again with cancel. We've learned how to cancel someone. Cancel will allow us to isolate people from their friends and compatriots. In battle, this could be a useful tool against Geeks Gamers, Nerdrotic, and Ryan. Good point. Dewey the Phoenix says, you are the very person Dustborn was made for, so I made this for you. And FYI, Amandela needs to show proof of targeted harassment outside of having her terrible acting and cringe dancing being put into the spotlight. I agree. Good point. That's Star Wars Explained is a husband and wife team. Husband, huh? One of those. Very true. So we have Dead for the culture TV side of things, but there are other channels such as watching animal channels and gaming channels. Sure. Like I said, if you're interested in just absorbing content, YouTube has everything. I'm a guy, I just like traveling all over YouTube. I'll watch cooking channels. I'll watch architecture channels, conspiracy channels, straight up science channels, how to repair a car, how to rebuild your house, plant a garden, become a homesteader, the Star Wars stuff, Doctor Who, all this kind of crazy stuff. I go all over YouTube. If it exists, I'll watch it. I just want to know. I like people. They're weird, and they do weird things, and I do weird things, and I do weird things while I watch weird people doing weird things. Here we are. Welcome to the chat. When did females become dude bros? Well, you know, it's that catch-all term of like even black people are white supremacists now. That's just how it goes. You just point a name at somebody and just, you know, that's you now. That's all you are, period. Yeah, I just showed the pic. Yeah. That's somebody posted that. Like first, instead of the meme, somebody proudly put that up. Pain. These people are delusional, yes, and they have strange ideas about the world. But Scooby Doo here says, I know it's time to bring back the hashtag not your shield so they can understand that it's not just dude bros who don't like the acolyte. Yeah, well, you know, there's a lot not to like about it. You don't have to be a guy to dislike the acolyte. I mean, I'm pretty sure you don't have to be human to dislike the acolyte. I'm pretty sure cats caterwaul anytime they see Amandela Stanberg's acting. But Scooby Doo goes on and says, well, I got to go to work. But have fun looking at all the insanity. Yeah, well, it's getting on to that part of the day, isn't it? Hopefully people at the office don't know anything about the acolyte and you can go about your day not being troubled by these weirdos. Or maybe they are and they're just having a horrible crying fit. And that would be kind of funny, right? They're like looking at a picture of those two characters, Osha and Smilo Ren, and like, oh, what could have been? The little heart pictures and stuff. Yeah, and they're crying. You could look at that and laugh. Take a picture. It'll go over great. It'll go over great. RJ McGrady says it's a husband and wife and her oh. Oh. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. I wonder if Star Wars Theory was a target right up until a recent video where he indicated he's not white. Oh. So that makes him a good boy. I see. Emphasis on the boy part. Yeah. DZ3 says, I watch people talking about their pets and animals they keep. I also recently watched people traveling first-class flights. It's quite interesting. Yeah, there's whole YouTube channels dedicated to guys just not talking and just walking around Japan and showing you like what it's like to ride on one of their overnight trains where you sleep in like a hotel room on a train traveling 100, 200 miles an hour. It's pretty cool. Shows you what life in like places outside of Japan, outside of Tokyo are like. You just want to know what the countryside is, or smaller cities, or towns, or villages. If you just want to walk on the beach in Japan and see how it's just a little bit different than what it is in the USA where you live. There's a whole bunch of channels dedicated to that. There's even a channel, between you and me, I can't show you, but there's even a channel where a lady rides, a very busty Asian lady, right? And she's quite endowed. She rides around on a bicycle with the camera pointed down her shirt. So you see all of this nice Japanese architecture behind her, and then you didn't hear it from me, okay? You didn't hear it from me, all right? I didn't say that. Ma'am's the word. Anyway, Leslie Targan says, I watch a lot of history documentaries and the Sassel model, how to vids. Okay, cool. Oh, scale model. That's what it is. The scale model. Yeah, there's those too. If you're into Gunpla, there's a whole Gunpla building community too. Model building communities all out the wazoo. 40K even. Tons of those channels. Gad Boys says, it's just funny they think the world of 140 million Disney Plus subscribers are under the political control of the alt-right and deciding what Disney shows stay on Disney Plus. Well, that's just what happened, right? Well, that's just what happened. Is I called up old Bob Iger, and I said, Bobby, you got to drop that Acolyte show. There's too much melanin in it. You got to get rid of it. Can't have that. And he said, you're right. You got me. I'm sorry, Cider. I didn't know they were making that. Old Kathy just doesn't tell me about things anymore. I'll get on it. And he hung up. And guess what, fellas? I got a nice package of brownies from good old Bobby. Good old Bobby Iger. A little note that said thank you. Right? It's all me. It was me. I made the phone call, and Bob was like, oh, thank God. Somebody told us to take it down. And that's what they did. It's exactly what happened. I won't hear otherwise. The Middle East, West Asian, Turkish, however, still European through Southeast Europe. Well, again, like, they're trying to, like, parse this stuff, right? It's crazy. It's not that you need to learn how to spell or anything. It's typos. The typo demon is alive and well in these chats, you see. And there's Henry Thrun. Well, welcome aboard. I'm sorry, we're sort of at the end of the show here. I've run out of questions and we've run out of quote tweets. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with YouTube now that they've admitted that they're going to take a look at all of this harassment going on and this racism that's being practiced upon poor little Amandela Stenberg, who's been in Hollywood and in movies since she was a child. She's so oppressed, right? There's that Michael Jackson oppression, see? Yeah, cheers and have a good day, everybody. And that's right. So we'll see you in the next one. And also, feel free to check out the video that comes out a little later today. We'll be talking about what's going on with the Dustborn situation. Norwegia has come out and admitted that they did it for market appeal. That's right. There was a whole market of games for bully simulators that simply wasn't being filled, and they decided we should put all of our taxpayer dollars into that. I am not even kidding.
Crockett. Vice, Miami.
If you're new around here, feel free to hit like and subscribe. We'll see you later.